is the last episode of September 2024, which means we are spilling the chisme, and I have my girl, Erica Sanchez, with me. Hola, Erica.
Hola, hola.
So, Erica, we missed all summer because we took a hiatus over the summer.
Yes, we
So
took a hiatus.
yeah, we missed all summer of the chisme. So we're gonna try and catch up. And I'm sure we missed stuff, but literally I was like, what has happened? And I just typing stuff out. So I don't want this episode to be political because I do have political episodes, but without getting political, obviously one of the biggest things that happened over the summer was Biden dropped out of the presidential race and at the same
Right.
time endorsed Kamala Harris. And that happened after that was a huge news. I mean, that obviously affects in some way or another affects everybody in the US.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I wasn't surprised that
no.
happened. No. I mean, once the whispers started, I was like, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of strategy,
Mm-hmm.
when to say it. So, and they said it at the appropriate time.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Before I actually do have something to say on that as well, but we totally forgot to talk about the wine we're drinking. Like I was just like, let's get into the cheese, man. So what do you drink? Because I know you have wine today because you showed me. I'm so
I
proud of you.
do. A nice full glass too. It's like maybe 5 fingers.
Ooh,
Nice 5 fingers.
she's ready. She's acting like this is Friday. What are you drinking?
I am drinking a Sauvignon Blanc, and the brand is Indaba.
Okay. I'm drinking a red blend, Chalk Hill. It's a red wine blend from the Sonoma Coast. But so here's the thing with the uh now I forgot what I was gonna say. But it is kind of it's very this one's really is this the one that's really dry? No, this one's not really dry. Actually, over the weekend, my husband, he loves smoking meats now.
Have
Like
Have you gotten used to saying my husband?
I'm okay. Yes, I'm used to actually, you know what I did? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I did over the weekend. I was walking to an event I was emceeing on Saturday. I see you guys will get back to the Biden thing, but we gotta just this is true. This is why right this the last one is fun and light and whatever. So I was emceeing an event over the weekend and I'm like doing as I'm walking, I'm doing a story and I caught it where I called Antonio my boyfriend.
I
But technically he is. He's my forever boyfriend,
he's your
right?
friend that's a boy.
He's But I really did. I was like, "Oh yeah, my boyfriend used to be," and I watched it before and I'll go, "Oh, I better redo this."
Oh my
So for
gosh.
the most part, I am used to saying husband, but every now and again, I'll refer to him as my boyfriend, or I don't even say fiance because I think like I don't know why, but yeah. So
Mm.
for the most part, I am getting used to it, and it's but we so Monday through Friday. What I was saying is Monday through Friday, I take care of dinner, right? I'll try and make him extra stuff, or he'll make himself a sandwich. Last night I made like chicken salad already done for him.
Mhm.
All I had to do was grab some bread and chips and uh, um so Monday through Friday I'm the one who takes care of it. So weekends he takes care of girl, let me tell you, he takes care of virtually all of the food on the weekends.
Nice.
And it is lovely because first of all, I'm not a big breakfast maker. Every once in a while I'll make breakfast.
Right.
But I'm like a smoothie or cereal person on the week, if I'm making breakfast. And so, but he loves breakfast. So he will full on make breakfast. And since we got this smoker from my mother-in-law, from my suegra. So every weekend he's smoking meat. And so I'm like, all right, cool. So he takes care of that. And then we usually have leftovers for Sunday. So I'm just saying, like, it's been a good balance for us in regards to that. Because I'm home, I'm the one working from home. And he's out freaking in people's attics doing stuff during the week. So yeah, I take care of Monday through Friday. I take care of the dinner and hopefully, and usually enough for him for lunch the next day. And weekends is his time to shine. And when I tell people that, they're like, "Oh, that's so good." I'm like, "Girl, that works for us." He doesn't complain. He likes that.
Right.
The other day, actually, we woke up and I was like, "Baby, you know what I was thinking about?" And he puts his phone and he's like, "What?" I'm like, "French toast sounds really good."
Oh my gosh. I need to find someone that wants to cook for me.
And
That is
what did
my
he
love
do?
language.
He
That is my
made
love
French
language.
toast for breakfast. Actually, I think it was the night before. I was all close to him. And I was like, baby, you know what?
Food is my love language. I get it.
It's just so funny. But yes, but that's what's happening in my world. Okay, going back to the whole thing that we were talking about. Biden drops out of the race. You said you did. So I don't know if I told you, and maybe I have. So so it still goes back to my husband in some way, right? Um, my husband's Theo is actually Cesar Chavez.
Yes, you did tell me that.
So his wife, Cesar Chavez's wife, Helen, that's how he's blood related to his Tia Helen. It's his Tia. So the person who was running Biden's campaign, who's now running, she used to work for Kamala. She went to work for Joe Biden to help with this campaign. Now she's the head of Kamala's campaign, Julie Chavez. She is actually my husband's cousin. So it's my cousin-in-law. So I already told my husband, I'm like, if she's like, once Kamala gets him, you better call your cousin and say, we need to go to the inauguration.
Going to DC. What is it? Wine and Chisme goes to DC.
Yeah. Well, so I'm hoping once this is all, done and settled and everything, hopefully I can get an interview with Julie.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I have an in my husband, hello. And he's always like, "Oh yeah, look," he shows me her Facebook, like, "Oh yeah, she's here. Oh yeah, she's doing this." So that's the biggest thing that happened, right? That is like the number one biggest thing that happened over the summer. And then we obviously have so did you keep up with the Ends With Us drama?
I did. I haven't seen the movie.
Neither have I.
And I haven't read the book, but I have gone down the TikTok rabbit hole.
Okay, so for those of you who do not know of the Ends With Us drama, It Ends With Us is a book that was a lot of people were trying to purchase the rights to the book. Justin Baldoni, who you may know as Raphael from Jane the Virgin, his production company Wayfarer Studios actually was able to purchase the rights because when he talked to Colleen Hoover, he had expressed like what this means to him, what he wants to do with it. And she even said, out of everybody she talked to, she felt like he could really bring this to life more than anybody else. Apparently, Colleen Hoover is a big Blake Lively fan. They end up tapping Blake Lively to be the head of the movie, which is Lily Bloom. And throughout this whole thing, I guess her and her husband became executive producers, meaning they're bringing money to the table,
right,
for the film to get done. Justin Baldoni owns the rights to the movies and is directing. And then Colleen Hoover had said she wanted him to play the protagonist or the antagonist.
Right.
So going through all this, now for those of you who may not know, and I don't know how you would not know at this point, the movie actually is about domestic abuse and what happens from that in the relationship, and I guess how she comes out from that. So fast forward, the movie premieres, and all of a sudden everybody's like, why is nobody, people used to follow Justin Baldoni. Then they're like, why is nobody taking photos with Justin Baldoni? And then all of a sudden, everybody's unfollowing him. Everybody except Hassan Minaj. And I want to make sure I'm saying it right because it's very important. He's the only one who still follows Justin Baldoni. Justin still follows everybody, whatever. But then people notice, like, they're asking about how Justin was as a director and whatever. And everybody's like avoiding the question, including Jenny Slate, including Blake Lively. Like, it's just kind of like a shit. Like, it's just like really weird, right? So then all these things coming. I don't know if you were watching on TikTok where people were like, "Oh, this is big. This is big. Something bad's coming, guys. I can't say anything. I can't say anything."
Yeah, yeah.
And then what comes out is what ends up coming out is that Blake Lively apparently felt fat shamed by Justin Baldoni because he asked how much. There was a scene where he had to pick her up. He asked how much she weighed, but apparently because he had back problems, so he asked his trainer how much does she weigh. Apparently she got wind of it and felt fat shamed because she just had a baby. And I forget, the second one is she said he lingered too long on a kiss. Now, I think it's very telling that, yes, maybe all of the cast and follow Justin Baldoni, but none of the actual, like, people who worked on the movie that weren't all the behind the camera people, none of them unfollowed him. And so, okay, just like, I know you've heard all things. I just want to catch people up. So what do you think? Like, I know people probably heard it all on social media, but if you didn't, like, that's what we're here. It's called the Chisme. We want to know what's happening. So what do you think of all of this commotion?
It's so unfortunate that all of that outshines the topic of the film and the opportunity to talk about it in a real way.
The other thing is that Blake wasn't talking about it, right? That Justin was the only one who was talking about it.
Right, so he was the only one talking about it. And a lot of people were saying from the promotion of it, it seemed like a girls' night movie. And not really touching on, like, people was like, one thing was promoted, and then when they went to the movies, they saw a different movie. And it's so unfortunate. Like, it was such a missed opportunity to talk about something that is very real. And I don't know if it's this month, September, or if it's in October, that it's domestic violence awareness. So that would have been, the perfect time to talk about it through the summer leading up to now. And I don't know, she seems so out of touch with the world. And a lot of people have, like, said it, like, oh my God, of course, TikTok uncovered, like, all these old interviews. And it's so cringy to watch.
It is. So there was this, like, Australian or New Zealand reporter who, and Blake had just announced she was pregnant. It wasn't like she didn't say it, and it was just
that
rumors.
was weird. That interview was weird.
It was so weird. And so the interviewer had said, "Oh, congratulations on your bump." And Blake's response was, "Well, congratulations on your bump." And what makes it worse, and then she's with Parker Posey, and Parker Posey's like, "Well, what about my bum?" And, like, sticking up her rear end.
Right.
And what here's the thing when we say stuff like this, right? Like, and then she was asking about the period clothing in the
Mm-hmm.
movie. They were there to promote a Woody Allen movie, which is a whole problematic and a whole nother problematic thing, right? But this woman is like a fashion journalist. So of course she's going to ask about the fashion because she asked about the fashion and then Blake's like, would they be asking men about this? And then the girl's like, well, I would. Duh, she's a fashion.
Right. Fashion.
But then also it comes out that what, Blake is being so like, you're supposed to be a girl. You're saying you're a girl's girl, right? But then you have this reaction and come to find out like this journalist can't have kids.
Right.
Like the
Right.
whole thing is problematic. So you go through all of these things and what seems to be a PR campaign. And I think it was a PR campaign to get Justin off of the second movie so she could direct. Like she apparently wanted the rumor that was circulating was that she wanted to use this as her Oscar moment to,
That's
secure
so
an Oscar
disgusting.
nomination and then be able to take over the movie. But and even Justin Baldoni said in one thing, oh yeah, I'm not, basically he was like, no, I'm not coming back, like I think somebody else should
Mm-hmm.
direct, maybe Blake. And it was very subtle but very
Right.
pointed, like I don't know, maybe Blake should direct, I think she's ready. And to me, he's been really classy about the whole thing, but to me it also sounded like, bitch, fucking take this shit then. You want to
Yeah. You
direct,
want
see
to
how
go.
easy
Mm-hmm.
it is.
I know.
you're a
I
you're a
know.
you're a like a backseat director, what you're trying to be right now.
And I find it also so crazy because she is in a position where she could go find a project and get it like greenlit.
Yeah,
I honestly don't think it's,
I
I
think
obviously
she
I
didn't
don't
know,
know the ins
right?
and outs.
Like
Like
somebody else found it, now she's like, wait, this is what I wanted.
let me preface by saying I do not know that much about the film industry. I don't want anyone to come for me or you. But I feel like she's in a position where she can get money. I mean, don't they have a production company, her and her husband?
I don't know, but I don't, I'm sure they do. I mean,
I
they're in
think
so
they
many
do. It's like
things.
just find a project. There are so many stories to tell. Go find one that's a fit for you and go tell it. Like I don't understand.
Yeah. And then
And
the
then
other thing that was problematic, or what we heard was problematic, is when she was on the red carpet, she's like, well, nobody knows this, but that roof scene, my husband wrote it.
oh my
Problem
god,
with
yes.
that is that the script was actually locked down before the writer's strike. So they had to get it approved, which means there could have
Mm-hmm.
been no changes to the script. And if it was changed, and again, was it something that she said just to say, like, or is it something that really happened? Because that means he was a scab, that he crossed picket lines if he wrote that after the film was locked in and everything. Because even one of the writers said, oh, I thought that they, and even Justin said both, so one of the writers and Justin both said they thought that it was ad-libbed, but it wasn't. Apparently it was written by Ryan.
Mm-mm-mm.
So many problems. Ooh, well, let's see what, like, apparently she's on a break now because she feels like she's so hated on, but honestly, it just feels like she brought it on herself. Like she tried all these things. And again, we
Right.
don't know her, but that's just how it feels at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like
Right.
she just tried to do Justin dirty. And the thing is
Mm-hmm.
you have so many people coming to Justin's defense, but with the exception of the cast, right?
Right.
You have all these people that he's worked with, all of these women that he's worked with, all of the saying like he wants to be respectful, he wants to do this, he wants to do that. And Colleen Hoover, who initially was a super fan of Justin, obviously, who is she going to side with? Blake and Ryan, who are like this Hollywood power couple, or
Right.
Justin Baldoni,
Right.
who's still like he is doing amazing things, but he's not well known like that.
Right. He's not at that level.
Yeah, he's not at that level. So, oh well. But next thing, girl, talk about drama. Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, filed for divorce from Ben Affleck after on their 2-year wedding anniversary. Now, I think everybody saw that coming because obviously they hadn't been seen together. They didn't celebrate each other's birthday together. They didn't like all of we've talked about this a few times in regards to
Mm-hmm.
I found it sad, but apparently recently, like a couple within the last week or so, they were
Right.
both apparently Jennifer Lopez, like the Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez's kids have gotten very close. And Ben Affleck's kids have gotten very close to Jennifer Lopez. In fact, like while they were already kind of, I guess, when I would assume they're already separated, well, apparently to the date of separation, Jennifer Lopez like was still taking his kids out and like hanging out with them in New York and
Mm-hmm.
doing things with them in New York and particularly Violet and also Finn and Emmy are both um they them, right?
Right.
So they've gotten very close because of that having in common. But apparently they were at the Beverly Hills Hotel with their kids and they were making out and they were being touchy feely and whatever. Does not mean that the divorce is off.
Let me tell you something.
Yes,
They
tell
are
me, tell
both
me.
a problem. They are both a problem because people are like, "Oh, poor Ben Affleck." Poor who? No, he's a menace.
He produced, wait, everybody was saying, remember when she had
He's a
that
disaster.
documentary coming out? He produced the documentary. So how against it was he if he produced it, if his production company produced it?
He's a disaster. I feel like he's one of those people that self sabotages in relationships.
I agree.
And she just picks the worst men. She has the worst. I know this is down the line, but hello, P. Diddy. She
Oh
picks the worst
Lordy, yes.
men out here.
You know what?
And then
I
the
think,
good ones she kind of just throws away.
yeah.
Because what's his name? I can't even remember his name. The
Chris Judd,
gangster. Yes.
Chris Judd
He seemed like a very fine, very nice guy, and she just threw him away.
for Ben Affleck.
And look what
And here's
happened.
the story. Here's how the story apparently goes. The story goes, obviously her and A-Rod broke up because he was sending flirty text messages.
Right.
Apparently, I don't know if they met up or not with one of the girls named Madison from Southern Charm, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, why the fuck would you do like, but if you look at his
Because
history of
he's a
who he's
Dominican
dated,
man, Jessica. That's
well,
why.
but also if you look at his history of who he's dated, they all look the same. The only one who looks
Yeah.
different
J Lo's the
is
only different
J-Lo.
one. Mm-hmm. He has a
He
type.
he
A-Rod
has a
has a
type.
type.
Yeah.
Light skin and blonde. That's his
Yes.
type.
Yes. So, but I guess I don't know if it was around that time or before Ben Affleck was starting to correspond with J Lo again and sending her
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It
emails
was
and saying,
him.
"I'm
It was
always here."
him.
He was the one who was freaking. And I guess I apparently there was an article, and I cannot remember where it was. There was an article that he did several years ago that he says, "Oh yeah, I don't have good relationships with my exes because I think I want to do it, but when I'm done, I kind of just dip out." Like first that like that's problematic in itself, right? But then the fact I think that she really truly loves him. I think that she's like to her, she gave her heart to him more everything to him. I think she's given pieces of herself to other people, but I think I feels like she's given her he was the only man that she gave her whole self to, right? And she couldn't let it go. And she thought this was her second chance and da da da
Mm-hmm.
da. Ladies, do not go back to an ex. Men do not go back to an
No.
ex. They're an ex for a reason.
It's
Like,
a very small percent that actually works out.
yeah,
Very teeny tiny.
very teeny tiny. I mean, look, yeah, I think I mean, I know everybody said it. She just needs to be alone. She needs to
That
not
too.
like she just needs and I think like watching her documentary, I will say this. I think she's very hurt inside. She's very broken inside. I think she desperately wants love. But when we're in a place of desperation, that allows the love that is not for us to trickle in. Like it allows us to see things that we think is love, but it isn't.
Right.
So I think he did want it. I think he did want her. He think, but then again, and
Mm-hmm.
you knew what the problems were going to be beforehand. Nothing has changed. She's still a
Right.
paparazzi magnet. She's still, you think that people were not going to be even extra interested in your
Mm-hmm.
relationship after getting together after 20 years? Of course they are.
Right. And then in these 20 years, her star has just kept on rising. So why
Yeah.
would he think that, not even think, hello, he could just see that the paparazzi's not letting up anytime soon. Like,
Yeah. So that was just, yeah, I hope that honestly they need to go to therapy. They need to go to, whether they need to go to therapy individually, but I think that
mm-hmm.
honestly, even if they are getting divorced, I think they need family therapy for them and the kids to really realize, like, how do we move
Right.
forward and deal with this? Because she's obviously very close to his kids, and the kids are obviously, it feels like these kids, her kids are way closer to Ben Affleck's kids than they ever were with A-Rod's kids, A-Rod's girls.
I don't know. I feel like they were pretty close. I think J-Lo does need to go to family therapy because now she's bringing her kids into it.
Absolutely. It can't just, it's
And
not just about her anymore.
it was first with A-Rod's kids. They got along and then they had to be separated.
Mhm.
Now with Ben Affleck's kids, they got along and then now they have to be separated. Like, it's not about you, J-Lo.
No, girl. It's
And
like
then
you got lots of
wait
people
for
in
them to
this.
be 18 then and be off in college and doing them, and you're an empty
I
nester
mean,
and
they're
then you
what,
go back
16
to it.
now? You'll
They're
like just
almost out.
like wait a couple years. Wait a couple years before you start
They're
like
almost
it's,
out.
yeah. No. Okay, well, speaking of, right? Speaking of J-Lo, all right, girl. Oh God, this is a like this is so sad and this is such a mess. Like obviously a few months ago or several like last year, Cassie came out, his P. Diddy's ex-girlfriend came out with filing a lawsuit against him. Then a few months ago, we see and there's been rumors trickling out for a long time.
For decades.
I I think I didn't hear those rumors. The first rumors that I ever heard, and this was over 20 years ago now, was he had Tupac. Those were the first things, right?
Mm-hmm.
First things that, and he really did. I think he really did a lot to try and quote unquote clean up his image with the white parties and with being this and that. Then obviously with everything going on with different celebrities, all of this stuff comes out. Then this video comes out from this hotel where Cassie is like,
It's
it's
hard to watch.
it's hard and heartbreaking to watch. Oh my God. Just thinking about it. Oh, I get chills because I can't imagine going through that.
It's hard to
Now,
watch. Just thinking about it, like, this man is like over 6 feet and he's a big guy. He's not a little guy. And just seeing him like run down the hallway, like, I was scared.
yeah. I
I
mean,
was
you
scared, and
could
it was
tell
just
he
a
was just
video.
in a rage. That's the set. Like you could feel the rage he was in, and to be able to, and then him putting hands on her and kicking her, it was just not cool. Not, I mean, it's horrible, horrible. Now, all of this stuff has come out. He's been arrested on trafficking, on like multiple allegations. He's been
Mm-hmm.
denied bail twice.
Yep. Yep.
Thank God. I hope this continues. I hope it continues for him to
Mm-hmm.
not get out. Um, and now it's like, who knew? Like, my question is, and I know everybody has like their opinion, and this is like,
Mm-hmm.
this is a genuine question. So, how do we know who knows what? Right? Because everybody
Right.
assumes, well, you hung out with them, you must know.
Mm-hmm.
is that the case? Like people are like, well, Jennifer Lopez must have known. What if she did know some things, but he threatened, like, what if
Well,
she was under his thumb and he threatened
she
her? I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like, how do we know who know what? And
she definitely knew things, but I am assuming that he did threaten her to a certain extent. I feel like because at the time that they were together, she was already a star. So he couldn't really manipulate her the way that he wanted to, but that things went down 100%. Because
yeah.
that whole thing at Club New York, like
Yes.
she was there.
Yeah.
She was there. Like she I she got arrested.
She got arrested.
She
It says
got arrested.
this is my naive, like my naiveness, right? My naivety, whatever. I can't say it. Is that because I'm that person, and I always want to see the good in people, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's just who I am. You know me long enough to know that I want to always see like until you do me wrong, right? You do me wrong,
Right.
the Scorpio like comes out full force. And but like I always want to see the good in people, and but at the same time I'm very cautious of people. So it's one
Mm-hmm.
of those things where I won't let you know a lot about me. I want to know everything about you, but I'm only going to give you just enough
Right.
until you earn my trust, right? So there's all these people, and obviously a lot of people know everything, but to me I wonder, like, to what extent did people know things?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously there are people that knew everything that was going on, or a lot of
Right.
things that were going
Right.
on. But then you have people that may have gone to like the white parties that were like surface people that may have not
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
known much. So
Right. Right.
it's going to be really interesting to see like if he snitches and who is going to come out. And
Right.
to be perfectly honest, I'm going to say it right here, right now. I don't care who gets snitched on. If they knew, fuck you. You need to go down.
He's gonna snitch. I don't know if you've seen those all of those videos and stuff like um
Cat
what is it?
Williams?
Well, no, well, Cat Williams just he said it. He said it. The floodgates were opening. But there's this like video going around. I don't know. I don't want to assume, but have you seen the movie New Jack City?
Of course.
Of course.
Saw it in
So
the
there's,
girl.
so there's a video going around that you see when he's calling people out in the courtroom that's
Mhm.
gonna be Puff Daddy. It's gonna
Probably
be
because he
called,
only
and
cares
I
about
believe
those
that.
type of people only care about
He only
themselves.
cares about himself. He's calling everyone out. He is not going down by himself.
Yeah. And
No
let me
way,
just
no
say
how.
this, like we don't know all the details. We have like what we're talking what me and Erica are talking about is kind of more the superficial stuff. So
Right.
of what we know, because honestly this could be, if we wanted to do a deep dive into everything, this really could be like a whole hour 2 hour podcast, but we're not, that's not where we're going. But
No, 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 no.
it'll be really really interesting to see like where this is going to end up going,
Mm-hmm.
uh what who's going to end up going down with like
Right, right.
this is going to be really really interesting.
I feel like it's a lot. It's gonna be like similar to R. Kelly, where it's like,
Mhm.
okay, everybody knew something was going on, just to different degrees. But
Yeah.
it's like everyone was like, I don't know, that's none of my business. I'm turning a blind eye. Like,
And that's a kill. And everybody's like, oh, Hollywood. It's not, it's here's my thing. It's not just Hollywood, it's anybody in positions of power. It's
yeah.
not because people are in Hollywood, because it's people who are in positions of power.
Mm-hmm.
That's where this lies. And I think that gives you an idea. Like, have you ever heard the saying of like when you're really like when you become really, when you're having really good times or really down times, that just shows who your character really is.
Right.
Especially, so if you're somebody who's like, if you're somebody who of faith, right, and you're like, God, please, please, please help me, help me, help me, and then you became, say you hit the lottery and you just become an asshole. No, you didn't just become an asshole. You were
Right.
always
You
an
were always an
asshole,
asshole.
right? So when you're when
This is
you
just your
get to
time to shine as one.
yeah, exactly. So it's when you're in these positions of power where, like you said, it's your time to shine of who you really are. Are you really a good,
Mm-hmm.
decent person? Or are you just a fucking asshole who, now that you have power and money, you're going to exploit other people for that? And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when these things come out, like I said, I don't necessarily think that it's Hollywood because you see that in politics as well. You see
Yep.
that as CEO. You see this, and people don't talk about it. You see this in every single industry because it comes to people who have the power,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
right?
mean, you see that in everyday life in jobs
Yeah,
where you
totally.
have people, you have supervisors, you have anyone that's a little ahead and they want to take advantage of the people underneath them. Not everybody, but people that have that power trip. And you see that
Yeah.
all the time. How many times? I feel like in general, there's not one person that hasn't had something, some confrontation of some kind in a
And it could be
job.
a man or a woman. It does not matter. Or it could be non binary. It does not matter. It could be any person. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. And when you get in a position of power, that's
Mm-hmm.
usually when it comes out full force.
Yep. How
Right.
many times don't you hear, oh my God, my boss is such an asshole. My boss is such a bitch. Like,
No, girl, I remember one time having this. It's so crazy. Yeah, no, crazy. Okay, well now I want to move forward because this is something that I didn't necessarily struggle with, but I now know, like, in a way I've struggled with this because recently Selena Gomez shared that she is unable to have children. She's unable to get pregnant.
mm-hmm.
Which I think obviously she has lupus. We know she's had a kidney transplant.
Yep.
Um, so we from Francia Raisa, like, let's shout out to the queen who, you know, has given up of herself literally
Mm-hmm.
to allow somebody else. See what happens. Time of need. Are you an asshole or not? Right.
Right. Right.
But she's recently announced that she cannot bear any children of her own, which you know that I have gone through a lot of things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of uterus problems. And in fact, I'm in the process of planning to have surgery to get a hysterectomy. And I pretty much found out that I probably wasn't ever able to have kids, which is something really odd because I felt it. Like, I felt like I think I knew that for a really long time that
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't physically able to carry kids. And now I really know that. But I didn't know this prior to. She's obviously in a committed relationship with Benny Blanco, which I understand now. Like, I was the same way when I saw him. I'm like, that's who she's in a relationship with. Or, but then you see his interviews and you see how he talks about her and you see all of
Yeah.
these things and you're like, okay, I get it.
Right. That's what matters.
So I think that is such, like, we already ask celebrities to give so much of themselves. And that's something that's really, really personal. So to be able
Mm-hmm.
to share that, I think she should absolutely be applauded. I think she should absolutely be supported. I think that, I don't know, like, what are your feelings on that? Do you have feelings on that? I just, as somebody who understands that plight to an extent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not because I have lupus, but because I have fibroids, I have severe endometriosis,
Right.
I have things like wrapped around my like, I am so messed up
Mm.
that it would there's just basically no way I would be able to carry a child.
Well, it goes back to that whole like cultural thing where people are always asking, well, when are you having kids? When are you finding a husband? When are you this? When are you that? It's like, first of all, it takes two people to make a child. It takes two people to be in a relationship. I cannot will myself to be pregnant. Like, that is not how it works. And I feel like it's 2024. We've moved past so many things, and that's one of the things that people just can't move past. Like, not everybody can have children. Not everybody wants children. Not everyone is in a position to have a child. Like, people come for Kamala because of the same reason. It's like, what does her bearing kids have to do with anything with politics? Like, one thing doesn't have to do with the other, you know? And as somebody that doesn't have kids, not necessarily by choice, it's not that I chose not to have kids, I just haven't been in a situation to have kids. I haven't been in a relationship, in a long-term relationship. I haven't found a guy to have a child with. I don't want to be a single parent, because there are plenty of people that choose to be single parents, and that's fine. Not for me. And I feel like we're still talking about this, and people still have to defend their choice, and people still have to justify. And I think that's unfortunate that we still can't get past that. Why is it every year during the holidays, there's a million articles that come out about Hispanic, like in like Hispanic focused media, about the questions that come during the holidays, how to prepare for your family's interrogation.
Right.
Like, why is that still a thing?
Girl, let me tell you. You know, if you are not familiar, I am the stepmom to two amazing adult sons. And I was, I was 40, well, I was 44 when me and Antonio met, 44 or 45 when we met. He was done having kids, and I met his sons, and I love my boys. I love them so much. In fact, our youngest son called me the other day and we're talking and he's like, I love you, Jessica. And I'm like, I love you too. And just because you have not bared children does not mean that you are not a mother to somebody, right? I am Tia J to a lot of my friends and to my sister's kids, but a lot of my friends and friends' kids. And yeah, it's not a conversation that should have to be had. Unfortunately, it is. But so I just want to commend Selena for even sharing that, because she didn't have to. She did not have to share that.
Right.
But maybe her sharing that means one more person feels seen and one more person feels, okay, I'm okay. Right? Because you are a whole person, whether you birth somebody else or not. You are a whole person, whether you have a partner or not. You are a whole person. All of these things are just additions to your life. But you are a whole, I just need everybody to know you are a whole person regardless. So yeah. But going to another reina, Shakira recently, I know, total pivot, right? But we want to get through all the things. And then,
from one extreme to
from one extreme to another. But, I want to get to this, and then I want to really get into the VMAs. Shakira recently had to stop her performance because somebody was filming up her skirt.
Right. Was it at a club and she was dancing and somebody was filming up her skirt? Like,
you know what? Let me say, good for her for, like, she first said, like, she first was like, no. And then he continued. And she's like, fuck this. I'm getting off. Away. Yeah. Yep. Because remember, this last year, there's been this really weird thing of people throwing their phones at performers, hitting them. Like, what the hell is wrong with people? Like, this is some bullshit.
I don't know. People are like so reckless. Like, that is reckless behavior.
First of all, I spent too much money on my phone to throw it at,
I'm not throwing it at anyone.
but even before that, like, there has literally been serious injury caused to some of these performers because it's hit them in the head or in the eye or whatever. And the fact that you're okay with that is, I don't understand it. My brain does not work that way, and I don't understand it. And I think more performers, like when we went to um a couple years ago, I went to the Hassan Minaj his show in San Diego, and then
Mm-hmm.
make you put your phone away. I think every performer should do that. True, like I truly do. I think, of course, I think that that's the only if that's the only thing that you can do to prevent that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people want like to take selfies and to take
Right.
video and be able to capture those moments of when they're out there, but I think there becomes a point where unfortunately, one bad apple spoils the bunch, right?
And
And if this
was she
continues to
performing
happen,
or
that's
was
what's
she
going to
just out?
happen. She was wait, which one? Shakira?
Shakira.
She was performing, and she just stopped her performance and walked off because she told somebody to stop. They didn't. They continued. It was really ridiculous. So good for Shakira. We love our reina. But I mean, speaking of performances, we had the MTV VMAs that
Mm-hmm.
were over that happened a couple weeks ago, and they were celebrating the 40th anniversary of the VMAs.
Right. I
And
wasn't gonna watch it, and then I
okay,
ended up watching.
okay, I didn't watch it, and then I watched it right after, like after the live thing. Let me say, there were definitely some people that I'm like, who are you? Like I've tried to watch it the last couple years, and I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know who any of these people are,
Right.
right? This year, because it was the 40th anniversary, there was a lot of people, like there was a lot of, I guess you would say, I guess people would say throwback art performances and artists, right? Not to us. These are still people who are very relevant in our lives. But it was the first time I enjoyed it in a couple of years because it was people I knew and people that
Mm-hmm.
I knew their music. And I do know, like, even my husband didn't know who Megan Thee Stallion was, and I'm like, he's like, who's that? I'm like, that's Megan Thee Stallion. He's like, who's that? And I was like, and
No,
then I started saying,
Megan.
yeah, and then I was like, oh, she did WAP with Cardi B, and he goes, oh, that's her. Like literally, I had to say. And then she did her performance, and then he was like, "Oh, okay," like knowing the song.
Right, right.
Do we are the VMAs relevant anymore?
Not to me. There are people that find it still like the younger generation still watches it. Like my nephew, who's 26, he watches it every year. He's always like, "Oh, the VMAs, the VMAs." I'm like, "Look, the VMAs stopped being exciting once reality TV took over MTV.
Agreed.
It stopped
Like
being
MTV
exciting,
stands
and
for
then
music television. They don't. When was the
right,
last? Like when TRL went away,
yes,
I think
that's when it
they
went
know.
away.
Yeah,
And then social media, I also when YouTube got really big, that you can just go on YouTube and watch a video. When these videos dropped and you had it on your phone. Like that for me, obviously the younger generation probably feels different. But for me, that ended the excitement. I remember like I'm a huge Madonna fan. And I remember when her Ray of Light CD came out, I was in high school. And when the Frozen video was debuting on TRL, let me tell you, I never ran
how
home so
obsessed have you?
fast.
Did you ever wait? Did you ever? Because obviously you grew up in New York. Did you ever go to the TRL like outside Times Square?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Mayhem. And I have friends that I went to school with. I had one friend in particular, her older sister used to work at TRL, and my friend, my classmate, she was a huge Backstreet Boy fan. She got her and another friend in for TRL, like, and it was exciting. It was like so exciting. I remember like being in Times Square, and you would see like you could see into the studio, and then there would be tons of people out. It was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You walk by 42nd Street and you even forget that MTV is there. And
Yeah,
like
that's so
when they
cool.
cleaned up 42nd Street and when they had just launched TRL, I remember like you would pass by and it wasn't very popular at first, obviously, because it had just launched, but there would be a few people and like you would stand there and you would see the celebrities you would see celebrities going into the building. It was exciting. And like you would know like, oh my God, tomorrow this video drops. I gotta be there. I gotta record it. But like, and it's not that anymore. It's something
Yeah.
different. So for me, I don't know how relevant those awards are
Well,
because
think about the
videos
last
meant
thing that you
something.
remember, right? The last big moment you remember was, at least for me, the last big moment I remember is when Kanye storms up on stage,
Right.
interrupts Taylor Swift. I'm gonna give you a moment, but wait. Beyonce had one of the greatest music videos ever
Right.
for
And
Single
how
Lady.
long ago was that?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was the year of Single Ladies. So let me I'm gonna pull it up. Single Ladies. Oh wait. Single Ladies release 2008.
2008. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's almost as long as I have been working in PR.
So okay, so that it released
It's
October
literally my
8th of
career.
2008. So that would have been 2009 because it released in
Hmm.
October of 2008 and it's usually the
Right.
summer after. So 2009. That was the last main moment that so when Eminem came out this year, I loved it. I ate it up, girl, because I remember when he first came out. Yes, I'm the real shade.
Sorry.
When he came out with all of those
Right.
duplicate like coming down. So when he had, I was like, I was, oh girl, I was lapping it up so hard.
I feel so jaded that I wasn't even excited about that. I was just like, man. And then I was like, oh, I'm jaded. I'm like old and over it.
Okay,
I was
so
sad for myself.
we know. Oh, not 2025. I wanted 2020. Okay, so for 2024, the list of performers were Camila Cabello, who I know, Chappell
Mm-hmm.
Roan, who I didn't know who she was or what she was about, right?
Yeah, I had heard of her before.
I had
But then,
heard, but I
but
was no,
again, I live with teenagers.
yeah.
So
Glorilla, who the hell was
I know
Glorilla?
Glorilla.
Raul Alejandro, who of course I know, but oh girl,
Right.
he's problematic right now. Like, Lordy,
What did he do?
he endorsed Trump.
Him too?
Yep. Oh, we didn't talk about the Nicki Jam thing. That's what
I
we
have
have to
no
say.
words.
Like, yeah, we have nothing to say because you're Puerto Rican and you're the
I have
wait.
no words.
She's so hot. She's
First of
so
all, he doesn't know who he is.
you
I wouldn't even go on stage after that. I would not go on stage.
he's removed that from his social media. She's removed that because she's so hot. She's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But here's my thing,
I would
like,
be so embarrassed
so
from that shit.
Anuel had endorsed Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't like Anuel anyway, and he does stupid shit all the time. So it's like, okay, whatever. But then Nicki Jam comes and does, and it's like, sir, we were rooting for you. We were rooting for you, and then you went and you messed it up. Like, he's gotten so much backlash for it. And
Mm-hmm.
then
Girl.
and I've heard like some people are like, oh, but like I don't understand why people are so upset with him. And my response is it's not so much that he endorsed Trump, right? Everyone's allowed their opinions, their beliefs. You can endorse whoever you want. But it became so apparent how, like, it just became so apparent, like, this man does not care about our community. He just wants celebrities to endorse so that people can vote because he does not even know, like, who is endorsing him. He doesn't
Maybe it
care. He's
wasn't.
just
Maybe he
like,
did endorse. Wait, let me just make sure because I'm checking just to make sure. Maybe
who,
he did
Nicki
not.
Jam?
Yeah. No. Raúl Alejandro.
Oh,
I
you
don't
might
see
be
any.
thinking about Anuel
I
instead
think
of
that's what
Raul.
it is. Okay, apologies. See, I'm trying to fact check in real time to make sure I'm correct because I don't want people coming after me, and I don't want to be responsible. So that's why I was
Right.
checking. I
This
don't
is
see anything,
responsible
but
journalism right here.
yes, we are responsible. But yes, but we do absolutely know that Nicki Jam did, and I was watching I just saw something. It's like Nicki Jam removed her post because now everybody's at a freaking what a freaking fool. And apparently, even a few, I don't know how long, like the last cycle, he was saying how terrible he was and how he has a wife and he wouldn't do that and blah, blah, blah. And
Well, he literally, I think it was days before, I could be wrong, but I think it was days before he went and like endorsed him that he was saying like, oh, I don't talk about religion, I don't talk about politics, that
yeah,
stuff is messy, this
literally
and
just a
the
couple days.
next.
Let me tell you, my husband just walked out of the room dancing, shaking his butt to try and make me laugh. Oh, he had a good day. He had a good day.
Yay!
So yeah. But he literally came out of the room and just started dancing. Yeah. I mean, the fact that he would come out and he's Puerto Rican, Nicki Jam is Puerto Rican. And
Mm-hmm.
after everything, girl, yeah. I
It's just
think
like,
so. I have a friend who works at one of the news stations in DC, and she was like, I think he got paid. Like, I think he was paid for this.
100% he was paid, but like
Absolutely.
that again, that's a problem, right? Because you're getting this check and you don't care where this check is coming from. I
Mm-mm.
understand people need to get paid. I like money too, but
Girl, okay. I'm just saying, right
come
now, I
on.
could use the extra coin for sure. But absolutely positively, if somebody said, I'm going to give you whatever so you can endorse that orange Cheeto, I'd be like,
No,
my
thank you.
family would disown. Well, my family would disown me, or at least my husband and his side of the family. My parents would probably be like, "What? What? This is not who you are. What is going on?" But I just couldn't. Like, I would not be able to sit well in my soul with that.
No,
Mm.
not at all.
Well, too bad for them because they got to live with themselves for that stuff, that dirty ass shit.
Yep.
Final thing before we go, girl. Next week, I'll be in NYC. I'm gonna be
Yay!
again for a week.
Hi, Rumi.
So excited because we have our wine and chisme, vino y bocaditos event coming. We're being sponsored by Uncorked and Cultured, which is an online um, magazine and blogs and articles and all of these amazing things to really focus on wine communities that come from communities of color. The wine has gotten to me. And um so for this event, like last year we focused on arts and fashion, thanks to Karen, who is the social media manager at the Guggenheim, and Cindy Castro, who is a designer based out of New York City. We had such an amazing time, but this
Yes.
year we're truly focusing on the wine. So we have I think we're gonna have 5 different wines from 4 vintners. So we're gonna have, oh my gosh, I have to remember everything. We're gonna have a Pinotage from Oak Mountain Winery, which is a Latino-owned winery based out of Temecula. We're gonna have a Cabernet from Monroy Wines, which is out of Napa. We're gonna have a Sauvignon Blanc out of Napa from Monroy Wines again. We're gonna have a Chardonnay from Surcos Wines, which is out of Napa. And then we're going to have a Malbec from Gonzalez Wine, which is out of Oregon. We may have another wine from RGNY, but we're seeing what happens because they're no, like the owner's not going to be there and everything. So we're going to have like this huge wine experience, and we're going to really talk about the story of these wineries. We're also going to have cheese and charcuterie and little, fruits and everything. So come prepared. Come prepared to sip on the wines. Come prepared to buy some wines because we definitely will have some wines to be able to sell. And we are also, I would be remiss to share that we are also going to be recording a mini pod. So last year we had like a full podcast and everything. This year we're going to have a mini pod, and that is going to feature Monica Rivera of You Want to Do What. And we had such a good time on our episode. She's so amazing, and you're going to be able to ask questions and all of the things. And am I missing? And Uncorked and Cultured, I did say that they are going to be our sponsors, and we're going to have it at Brosha House. So Brosha House, Erica, you've been there. Talk a little bit. Brosha House, first of all, is a Black owned space because we put our money where our mouth is in supporting Black and brown businesses. But you've been there, so talk a little bit more about Brosha House.
Yeah, they're it's a husband and wife team that own the space, and it's fairly new. It's in Brooklyn. And yeah, the vibes there are just spectacular. The space is huge. And they're also working with local artists. So the space is going to double as not only an event space, but an art gallery. And they have so many things planned. I don't know how much I can say just yet, but they have so many different events around art, music, and food that are coming down the pipe. I'm not sure how much I can say, so I'm not going to say that much. But I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth after a glass of wine. But yeah, no, it's exciting, everything that they have planned. It's exciting that the podcast is coming back to New York. And yeah, no, it's gonna be, if last year is any indication, it's gonna be amazing. It is going back to New York because right after the first event, everyone was asking when is the next one.
I think we're just gonna have to make it an annual event. I think we're just gonna have to annually go into New York.
Yep.
Because I love it. We have so much fun. We have such a good time. So mi gente, go if you go to the Wine and Chisme on the on Instagram, and I'm gonna make sure it's on our website as well. You can purchase your tickets if you add the code. If you add the code amigas, you'll get $10 off your price. And we want to make sure we share not only that, but a portion of each ticket goes to fight hunger, food insecurity, hunger insecurity with the food bank for New York City. So this is really, really important because it's really important for me to give back to communities that give so much to me. I love New York. I feel love when I'm in New York. So I think it's really important to be able to give back. So we're going to be giving a portion of each ticket to the food bank for New York City. So I think that's it, girl. We got through a lot. I mean, it's a little bit long podcast, but dang, we got through a lot today.
I was surprised. I thought we were going to be stuck at maybe 2 topics.
So did I, but you know what? There was just so much that if we got like each of these topics, we could have done an entire episode.
Yeah.
But you know what? If I'm sure there are places that do all of that, but we just want to get through. Like like you're sitting with your girlfriend, right? You're not just gonna sit on one topic. That's how we were,
Yeah,
that's what we were
that's
doing.
it's a cultural thing.
It is. And you know what? My audience knows that. Anybody who knows how we cheese me out, that's how we do.
Yep, yep.
So until next time, mi gente, I am so, so excited. I hope I see so many of your faces at our wine and chisme vino y bocaditos event in New York. I would love to see your face. I would love to meet you if I have not already. You guys like show me so much love, and this is my way to be able to show the love back. So until next time, mi gente.
Bye.
Hola, mi gente. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Wine and Chisme podcast. If you would like to hear more wine and more chisme, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Saludos.